Right guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a full tour of our new breeding room. Excited, we really loved how it turned out, so we wanted to share it with you guys. Hope you enjoy. Right guys, welcome to our new breeding room. We've just done a bit of renovations, so we're going to take you on a little tour of our predominantly ball python breeding room and show you around. So to start off, we have this little seating area. The feature wall was something we thought about way before we even thought about renovating this room. We really wanted like a feature wall. I know it's a bit, we designed a logo, I suppose, from scratch. We hand drew it, so we take pride in our logo. Nice little seating area, spend some time in here. You will notice that directly opposite the couch is the incubator, where a lot of time is spent checking out the eggs cooking. I know it's torment, so you know you can't help it. We want to know what's going on in that incubator. Not watching much, it's a bit like looking out of a window into a static environment, but I suppose it's what we do. So here's where we sort of generally talk to any customers that come over. We get them to take a seat, we show off some of our hatchlings from our other room, we'll bring them in here. Obviously we'll take them next door as well, but we'll cover that's an entire different room. We'll do a video of that room here, soon. We're going to take a quick tour of what's going on with the racks, because this is obviously the wall you all want to look at. I'm sure you don't want to look at me for the next 10 or so minutes. We want to look at the animals. That's what we're all here for, and that's what unites us all in this hobby. So I'm going to take you on a brief tour of how this wall was laid out, but we're going to go into far greater detail in an upcoming mini series, if you will, where I'm really going to go through all the royals, all the ball pythons, sort of going into what the projects are, showing off all of our animals, etc. We're going to highlight a few today, talk a bit about how we set them up, but we'll do an in-depth analysis here in a little bit. So I suppose we could start off with this side. So over here, this is just a little hidden area where we store a few of the extra bits that we need. We have the incubator, whose light I shall shine. There we go. So we have obviously our incubator, which is a converted fridge. If you guys are interested in the video of how we built this, or running through how it operates, let us know in the comment section down below. Happy to make a video covering that. Up here we have the little lady who started everything. For me personally, she was my first ever reptile. I named her Gizzy because she was named Gizmo, thinking she was a male back when we first got her. And now we'll just see if I can get Gizzy to come out and say hello to everyone. I'm going in blind, guys. She's a little high up. There we go. She's a fat little girl. But this is the animal right here that started my addiction. Before royals, before snakes, and don't get me wrong, I always wanted a snake, but when I was still living at home, it was probably the easiest one to convince to bring. And Gizzy is now, she's probably 15, coming on 16 years old. I've had her whole life, and she is just stunning. Really, really nice, calm girl. Loves her food like everything else here. I'm going to try and, there we go, sort out her hide and put her back in there. Up here is a bit messy. We are trying to work out what to do with it. But this is our roach breeding colony. If anyone out there is interested in how we breed Incubator roaches for our animals, let us know in the comment section again. I'll go through that in a separate video. So yeah, so Gizzy up here, we have the incubator, and then we have sort of a mini rack. This rack was actually, we got it from Barry Summerhays, who had it for years, and then when it was time for him to upgrade, he offered it to us. There are two parts to this. One part is downstairs, being used as a quarantine rack. But we'll cover the quarantine section if you guys really want to see a quarantine rack in a future episode. Here mostly we've got a few females relaxing in here, and technically what we generally use these for is animals who come out of quarantine, so they spend their time in quarantine. If all is a-okay and we've seen no signs after a set period of time, we bring them up here. But as a last sort of precaution before they enter the main rack, they come into this rack here. So this is like quarantine 2.0. It's also our colubrid rack. So we don't do many colubrids here, and a lot of the colubrids we have are rescues. But we have a few corns, some lovely little girls in here. They really like their food. We were recently donated some adult corns that were quite in some, they were in some bad shape, unfortunately. They were really underweight, but thankfully now they're smashing their food. They're getting double fed during the week, so they get 2 extra large mice twice a week to really help them beef themselves up. So just a few corn snakes in here, and then finally the nutter drawer, which is the Baron's Racer, the Brooks Kings. A female on one side, came from Crystal Palace, and he is a what we believe is a hypo, but he was another rescue. So that's that little rack there. Up here is our sort of larger snake. They are 70 litre really useful boxes. Now I know the 70 litres come with like little weird lids with little protruding parts. We simply just cut off those protruding parts to fit them into a rack. This rack needs upgrading because it's the last custom built rack we had left. I'm just going to move these tweezers out of the way because they act as a bit of a block. In here we house Luffy. Take a look there. So we house Luffy, who is our hypo granite Burmese python. He spends some of his time in here and the rest of his time in next door with Burma. So we split him for about 2 weeks during feeding time. So we feed them, and this is why we're going to change it. There we go. It got in. It's not the greatest. And I think as we've moved it and adjusted it, it's bowed a little bit. So we really need to get this upgraded or changed. Thinking about Simon Ling's or Herpzotics one, but I know they are lidded, so we'll work out what we're going to do here. The rest of these are our boas, our red-tailed boas. They are still young. These guys are just about reaching maturity, so we'll allow them to live together for a short while to see if they have any interest in each other, see if they'll breed. But that's that rack there. This will be changing shortly. Here is, unfortunately, he's in shed, so he's just sitting in his water bowl. And let's see if I can get our little man to say hello. Hello. He is one of our carpet pythons. He's a male. We believe him to be a diamond jungle, I believe it is. If anyone else out there has a better idea on him or doesn't agree with that ID, let me know. We are new to carpet pythons. He was a rescue as a hatchling, and we've raised him up. But he lives in here. Minimalistic setup, but he seems to enjoy it. He spends a lot of time on his perch. And then we've got the main bulk of it, the royals. So, as you guys may have seen in a video that we put up not too long ago of us actually putting this side of the room together. These are all Herpzotics racks. There are a total of 10 racks here. The idea is that we will be, the future of this room is the incubator will be moved, probably where that mirror is there. It's acting as a placeholder, and you will see my legs in far too many videos until that thing is moved. But the incubator will go down there. Simon Ling's racks will continue, or Herpzotics racks will continue, sorry, from here all the way to the end, so we can fit another 3 stacks of 10 here, so another 30 tubs. We're thinking at the moment if we can find a way to get them slightly custom built, because they're only about 2 inches short of being able to put a third one up. That's why there is none above these and why they're only 2 high. But the idea is if we could get another set of racks to go above 3 here, those 3 on that side will be another 3 all the way to the ceiling, and then in here will be ideally 2 custom built vivs, so at the width of 1 rack but all the way to the ceiling. So you're looking at probably I think these are about 1.5 foot wide, so about 1.5 foot by about just over 2 foot front to back, by I would reckon 3 foot high maybe, or just under. We'll have 2 there custom built for our green tree, Manakwara green tree pythons, who are currently living in the other room, but they will eventually move into here, so it'll be an entire wall done. Quickly going through how we set up our rows, and I think a lot of people want to see what we're doing and what we're using. We are still using ReptiChip because we had ReptiChip set up. It makes no sense to get rid of the product to change it for another one. It's an amazing product used by breeders all across the world. So we're going to keep this ReptiChip in here until such a time that we think that it needs to be changed out. Our females, very basic setup. So you'll notice in front of all of our tubs, we'll get a close-up shot for you. We have our custom made sticker or picture ID tags. And we do this for all of our boxes. If there are any missing, there are reasons. Either there is a snake that's supposed to be going in there, or the animal was in shed when we did the last set of pictures. You'll notice one, however, way down below, there is a reason why she has the emoji. There is a story behind that one, which I'm sure we'll tell at some point, and we'll show why that picture is there. But yeah, so on the right-hand side of each of the female tubs, we have a little lock chart. Essentially, the dates just mean the date we paired them, and then lock means if we confirm a lock, we just put a little tick. That's what these little ticks and dates mean, just if you were interested. The tags are something slightly different. So we have a range of different colors that we use, and we think we're gonna not change, but add to the colors. But for now, yellow is, we have seen an ovulation, essentially. If the tags are like this, I know it's a bit confusing, we'll go through it really quickly. If the tags are vertical, it means we've definitely seen an ovulation and possibly a pre-lay shed. Down below, we see if you see them horizontal, oh yeah.
You messed up, you done it backwards.
Ah, there you go. So, I told you, bit confusing. So, horizontal, let's try that one more time. Horizontal means ovulation. We've seen ovulation, we've possibly seen a pre-lay shed, and we keep tabs on all of that. If you see it vertical, it means the female has gone off food, is glowing, and we highly suspect that they are going to ovulate anytime soon. And this is our Pastel yellow belly female. She is an exciting project all on her own this year, because our super fire male threw out a lot of yellow belly looking hatchlings last season. So to really work out what yellow belly he is, and you'll notice this as a theme, he was a rescue as well, but he was our first rescue, or my first rescue, and what actually started, or half of what started MJ's Pythons. She is we got her as a previously bred and proven Pastel yellow belly. She is a big tubby girl who really likes her food. But where she's a definite Pastel yellow belly, we're hoping to prove out what he is. So as some of you may know, there are a number of genes in the yellow belly complex, including obviously yellow belly, spark, gravel, asphalt. There's a few others. So we're gonna use her and him this year to produce what we hope will tell us exactly what he is. If he turns out to be yellow belly, hopefully some firefly ivories. You notice the fireflies in there, so whatever comes out, it's gonna be it. We're gonna love it because it's firefly, and we love, well, I love firefly. I have a bit of an obsession. You notice it throughout the collection and the holdbacks. So the girls are set up pretty standard. With respect to the way they're set up, they have obviously their substrate, their water bowls. We use these ceramic water bowls, which are changed 3 or 4 times a week. We do check on them daily, and that's one of the tags we're going to get is our blue tags, which will be for females we've noticed have either excessive substrate or they've made a mess in their water bowl. As we're doing the quick checks, we can just tag the ones that we need to change on that day. We can come back immediately after and clean them all. But we do clean everyone multiple times while we change their water multiple times a week. So that's our females, generally our female setup. The males and the holdbacks are slightly different. So thankfully, Herpzotics also provides or also makes these dividers, which are working really well for us. The grow out females, so some of the animals who have outgrown our 9-litre tubs, which is what we usually keep. So we keep our grow outs initially in a V18, we then move them up to 9-litre, really useful boxes. And then once they've outgrown them, or we feel they're ready, they'll come into this. Some of them do end up bouncing back because they stop feeding. We haven't had that yet. We did have it with the old setup. But if we take a look in here, we have a poop. We have a mess. Someone's made a mess in the corner there. We'll clean that out right now. They really enjoy these hides, and I was skeptical, I think I've mentioned. But even the males, some of the larger males that we were worried about, these aren't necessarily larger males, but a beautiful boy who mystery boy, and this boy here is a mystery boy as well, but he was a donation recently, another rescue, but we're looking after him. So we have generally find some of our larger boys here. So our chocolate boy in here is actually one of our largest boys, and we thought they may need their own 33 litre, the whole box just to themselves. What we actually found out is he wasn't feeding the 33 litre. Once we got these dividers, we put him in here. I was skeptical because I thought, well, if it's divided that much of the tub already, he's only got that bit left, and I was almost certain that he wasn't going to use, or they weren't going to use these little hides. Actually, he spends most of his time in this hide, and he is smashing food now. He went through several months of, you know, no mice, no rats, nothing. He wouldn't take anything. And now, since we've had these rats, he has not missed a single feed. So whatever it is, it's working. It doesn't always work though. Some males do not like the small space. Some animals don't like the small space. One good example is V, whose water ball isn't in here because he made one hell of a mess in there just before we started recording this video. But V is our super female. He's the one we were talking about. He was called V because at the time I was into Game of Thrones, and anyone who watches Game of Thrones, Viserion, Ice Dragon, V. He is our super fire yellow belly complex, we're going to call him for now, male, and he does not like small spaces. He also really doesn't like other males. He is a boy who really loves the ladies. He's probably one of our best breeders. He'll breed anything we put him in with, but he doesn't like other males, and we learned that quite quickly because he was really badly rubbing his nose against the corners trying to get out. Since we gave him his own tub, he is doing splendidly well. Feeding, no rubbing, relaxing, seems really really chilled out, really relaxed. Putting on the weight again after the breeding season. He is done for the year. His numerous females, concubines, whatever you like to call them, his numerous females have now either ovulated or are literally on the doorstep of ovulation. So he is shelved for the year. He'll be chilling out now, smashing his rats again, beefing himself back up. But that just goes to show not one rule doesn't fit all with these animals. You have to really, and what we do is we really try to read the animal. If we feel the animal looks a little bit cramped in a certain hole or in a certain tub, we will attempt to upgrade them. Sometimes very fruitful, and we'll always try to give bigger where we can, but sometimes we'll move them up, they'll do really well, and that will be where they stay. Other times, however, we move them up. In the case of the chocolate boy, he was in a 33 litre rub, same temperatures as everyone else, same humidity as everyone else, same care, but he was not feeding. We moved him down into a divided one, he started feeding again. So that just sort of summarises how we keep our animals in general. It's always about the animals, it's always what's best for the animals, not what's best for us. I know that for some people, obviously the smaller you keep them, the more you can keep. If we needed to, we'd expand further, move into different rooms. We're not beyond that. We know our limits, but as long as the animals are happy, healthy, and have everything that they need, that's what comes first for us. But yeah, that's a really quick breakdown of this room. Oh, one final thing I might as well show. This little whiteboard here needs to move because we kept rubbing out what was written here. But this is how I keep track of what's going on. So for example, we know that these girls have had their pre-lay shed, and as soon as they have their pre-lay shed, we write the date of when we expect them. So about 30 days later is when you expect them to lay. That just gives us an indication of when we need to keep a closer eye. You'll see here the next girl to lay is the Pastel xanthid, and she's due on the 6th of May. She is being checked on without disturbing her too much. We check on her multiple times a day, and you can see she's nesting and she's getting really, really close. Now, the 6th of May is 30 days. Some girls will take slightly longer than 30 days to lay. Some girls will take slightly less. Generally, we find the average for most of our girls is it's about 27, 28 days. And then we will write the date they laid, how many eggs they laid, and an expected due date. That obviously gets translated as well onto the stickers we put on the boxes. So we put the pairing on the box, we put the date it was laid, the number of eggs, the number of slugs, and the due date. So that's how we keep track of our females, especially coming up to ovulation. Right guys, we really hope you enjoyed that video. Like I said in the video, we will be doing a mini series coming up shortly where we'll go through all the males, all the females, show you what's pairing to what, who's ovulating, etc., and give you a real insight into what we're doing this year and what we're expecting in terms of the season. Once again guys, we really appreciate all the support. The channel is growing quite rapidly for us. It's very surreal at the moment. We've only been doing this a very short while and we have all of you guys to thank. We really appreciate all the support. Tell us what kind of stuff you want us to make, what you think of the video so far, any suggestions by leaving a comment in the description down below. Just tell us what you think, any improvements you think you might want us to make, any changes. We're really eager to hear what you guys want because we want to give you content you want to watch. Once again guys, show us your love and support by hitting that like and subscribe button. It really means the world to us and it really tells us that we're making content you guys love. And until the next video, we'll see you then. Bye.